Hey guys, it's Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Welcome to the show. How is everyone doing tonight? Barb, can you let me know if you guys can hear me on the microphone? Because when I interviewed Peter, the mic wasn't working, and I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Um, Hello, Dee. Oops, my mouse isn't working. How are you tonight? Thank you for joining. Um, I want to explain what's going to happen tonight. I'm going to do a hello. Thanks for joining. I'm going to do like a 30-minute episode about Sandra. Awesome. I'm going to do a 30-minute episode about Sandra, about what happened with the Boston Globe. Just dropped an article today. And then I'm going to do my planned scheduled separate episode on Brandon Embry's case. And what I will do is I'll drop the link in the chat for you guys to go over to that stream. It'll be right after this one, so it's going to be like right together. I just wanted Brandon's episode to be a standalone episode from Sandra. I feel it's very important for Brandon's case to stand alone apart from Sandra. And then when I bring Brandon's mom on, probably like a month and a half, we will get into a little bit about Brandon and Sandra's case, because Sarah did play a part in the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group being started. And also we will also touch upon the Karen Reed hearings and trials, because there's a very similar injury with Brandon and John O'Keefe. So I want to make sure that we touch upon that too. Yes, there is a Dateline episode coming up on Friday. I'm going to quickly, before we get into the article, I'm going to kind of quickly run through the, if people weren't here yesterday, to see what the up and coming stuff for Sandra. Why did that do that? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Why does technology have to make things harder sometimes than easier? So basically we have, I'm just going to do a quick breakdown of what we have coming for Sandra's case, and what other things are happening around her case. Just give me 1 second to load my email again. I hate when you have things all set up, ready to go, and then technology comes in and is like, no, we're going to mess it all up for you. And now my email has disappeared. So sent. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. Yeah, I made sure while because Barb has a meeting on Monday night, so I made sure before Barb got all set up for her meeting that I was all set up, ready to go. So nothing, so everything would be ready to go for me. And then, of course, this always happens. Okay. Share. Okay. So on the 27th, we have a standout, in Stoughton Center from 12 to 3. It's our September standout for the month. If you're available, if you live in the area, please come join us. We need all the people that we can get there. Yes, we're getting national attention, especially with Dateline coming, but we still need the locals to understand the gravity of what happened to Sandra. And we just want to make sure, people are still seeing what was going on in her case. Matthew Farrell has 2 court dates coming up in October 6th at 2 p.m. We will be there at 12:30 to do a standout. And then he has a hearing on October 16th. It was originally for 11. It has been moved to 9 a.m. So we will be there at 8 a.m., which is going to be fun getting into Boston, but that's okay. And then, as somebody mentioned, we have Dateline on Friday. Please make sure you check your local listings. We are excited because this is going to expand vastly the audience for Sandra's case. Barb and I have worked with the producers for the last, almost a year now. And, it's good to finally be able to talk about it because there's been a few people who knew about this and we haven't really been able to talk about it. So just glad that we're able to talk about it now. And then, so after this stream, we are going to be talking about Brandon Embry's case. On Saturday, the 13th, was the 6-year anniversary of when Brandon Embry was brutally murdered in his North Carolina, his Asheboro, North Carolina apartment, and the Asheboro police covered up his murder. So if you can, please stick around and watch that. It's another case that needs to get out there. It's a case close to my heart, and it means a lot to me to be able to cover this case now. Okay, so our friend Laura Grimaldi, who has been on Sandra's case since the beginning, dropped a fun little article for us to look at today. So let me just bring that up. Unfortunately, I cannot bring up the actual article because it's behind a paywall, but Barb was able to cut and paste it and put it on our Facebook page. So I'm not going to read the whole article. If you want to read it, please go to Boston Globe. I'm going to drop the link for the article in the chat in a little bit. But I did want to point out and talk about a few things. Let me just bring myself up. Because there were a few things that we didn't know. And some of them are a little crazy. And I'm excited to talk about them. But I want to just dive in as fast as we can because I only scheduled like 30 minutes for this portion of my stream because I had originally already scheduled to do my show on Brandon Embry's case. But you can't, breaking news, you got to jump on it. Okay. So, I'll read a little bit and then I want to get to the parts where I really want to jump into. Former Stoughton police. Wait, I'm sorry. I think I have me just on the screen, right? Yes. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay. Former Stoughton Police Department Deputy Chief Robert Devine left. There was a photo. Was the leader of the department's youth program when Sandra Birchmore participated. Secret disciplinary proceedings for a former Stoughton Police Deputy Chief accused of sexual misconduct involving Sandra Birchmore have revealed new details about the last day of her life and unearthed a department controversy that had previously stayed out of the public view. The revelations were aired in June during the closed door hearing conducted by Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, or POST. Blah, 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 blah. Let me scroll down to what I want to see. Okay. Let me scroll down. Why is this not working? Come on, let me scroll down. I hate this. I might have to read this off my phone because it's just not like I'm getting like 100 pop-ups. Give me 1 second so I can read it off my phone. It's always this always happens. Okay. Okay. The post allegations against Devine include accusations that he had a sexual encounter with Birchmore while he was on duty in December of 2020, and falsely claimed that he didn't exchange electronic messages with her. Blah, 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 blah. Come on. Okay. Attorney Sean Martinez, I'm scrolling down, Martinez, who represents the commission, revealed during his opening statements that, hold on, I just messed up, that federal prosecutors allege Devine contacted Birchmore on February 1st, 2021. February 1st, 2021. That is the day Sandra was murdered. That is the day that Matthew Farrell walked into her apartment and murdered her. And Devine was in contact with her that day. My question is, was he in contact with Matthew Farwell that day? That is a question we need answered. And I'm hoping the FBI, which I'm pretty sure they probably do, has the answer to that question. No other details about the communication were included in the redacted recordings. Attorney Robert Stowe, who represents Devine during the hearing, said during the hearing that the case against his client is a big lie. Bullshit. Scroll down. I want to find out this. There's a juicy part about William Farrell. Oh, the lawsuit brought by Birchmore's estate alleges Devine and William Farwell had sexual contact with her when she was an adult. Devine denies the accusations. He retired from the Stoughton Force in 2022 during an internal investigation into his interactions with Birchmore and is no longer certified to work. The investigating officer is trying to present a lie that has been perpetrated by Birchmore. This is Stowe saying this at the behest of encouragement of William Farwell. Stowe said during the June 5th hearing, the lie is there. It's glaring, but nobody's seen it. Are you kidding me? Let me go down. The investigation found I'm scrolling down more. Oh, I want to read this part too. Stoughton Police Chief Donna McNamara and her former deputy Brian Holmes were the only witnesses to testify during Devine's proceedings in June. Holmes, who is now the police chief in Kingston, led the Stoughton Police Internal Affairs investigation concerning Birchmore. The investigation found that Devine used the alias Marty Riggs, a character from the Lethal Weapon franchise, to communicate with Birchmore on Facebook, which he disputes. Come on, dude. We know it was you. Listen to this coming up. Stowe also inquired about an incident. No, hold on. Lethal Birchmore on Facebook, which he disputes. As part of his defense, Devine provided internal investigators with documentation showing how he's been targeted by hackers. Now, some of you might not know that Devine had another sex scandal where he claimed hackers went after him then. So, Marty Riggs, Robert Devine, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, it's not hackers. It's you. We already know you groomed another girl in 2002. Come on, dude. During the hearing, Stowe questioned Holmes and McNamara about their relationships with Devine. Stowe also inquired about an incident during which Holmes retrieved a note written in crayon from his department mailbox, which read, "Revenge is a meal best served cold." The testimony linked to the note into the 2016 visit to the police station by Devine's 8-year-old daughter, who was using crayons. The girl's visit occurred soon after Devine had returned to duty following his demotion from deputy chief to patrol officer and a 60-day unpaid suspension. The sanctions were triggered by an internal investigation which found Devine directed a subordinate to look into harassing messages he was receiving as an attempt to end an exmarital affair. In that case, Devine also claimed he was targeted by hackers. Dude, you need to change your passwords, get some new computers, change your phone, upgrade your shit, because you keep getting hacked. McNamara testified she directed a lieutenant to investigate the note. Do you recall, and then the question from Stowe, do you recall that his 8-year-old daughter was given a trespass notice saying that she could not come near the police station? Stowe asked McNamara. She said that the girl wasn't allowed in the station without my authorization. Who the fuck has to get an order against an 8-year-old child? Like, what the hell is going on? I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Like, this is just like freaking insane. Like, an 8-year-old. Okay, the 8-year-old. Did the 8-year-old hack your shit too? Like, how did the 8-year-old know where your mailbox was? This is ridiculous. And I don't know, maybe the parent of the 8-year-old should have been suspended, because I don't know, they are the parent of the 8-year-old threatening leadership. Like, this is freaking insane. I think that's kind of basically During Holmes' testimony, he said he and Devine had been friends earlier in their career, but he distanced himself from Devine in about 2011. He gave several reasons for his decision, including concerns that Devine's interactions with an adult previously participated in the Explorer program were getting too cozy. Now, that wasn't Sandra, because Sandra was in the program then. That's about the time that Sandra actually joined the program. So this isn't Sandra. This is another girl. Who is this girl? And why was Devine getting cozy with her? It's inappropriate. Like, this is utter insanity. And I don't know what has taken this judge so long to say this man does not deserve to be a cop ever again. This is a stain on Massachusetts, on the Stoughton Police Department, on the town of Stoughton. And most of all, a stain on Michael Morrissey's office. Why has nothing, I'm sorry, I'm screaming because I'm like heated up about this. Why has nothing been done about the abuse of Sandra Birchmore? And why hasn't there been any investigation into what happened in that Explorers program by Michael Morrissey's office? There were children involved in this. Morrissey, Fanning, Dunn, Tully. There were fucking children. And you are letting these people skate. You are just as guilty as they are. This is just my opinion, but people say, you know, what juice did Matthew Farrell have to hold anything over? Why is he getting, you know, special treatment by Morrissey's office? Why is it? It's not Matthew Farrell. It's Robert Devine. And Robert Devine is over Matthew Farrell. Matthew Farrell is Robert Devine's boy, his protege. It's not about Farwell. It's about Devine. It's about protecting him. Yes, it's also about protecting other cops. But he's the cop. It's just like in the Karen Reed case. Brian Albert's the cop. It didn't matter about the cop on the dead cop on the lawn. It mattered about the cop in the house. Didn't matter about the dead girl in the apartment. It mattered about the group of cops. And the head one was Robert Devine. It doesn't matter if he wasn't deputy chief anymore. I agree. It's a dumpster fire. It is a dumpster fire. And the more we find out, the sicker it gets. This is at Morrissey's feet. This is. So, any questions? What are your feelings on this, guys? This is like sickening. And why are they getting such special treatment? We know why. But why? Why do they have to be allowed to get special treatment? You know? And people got to understand that Robert Devine is a fucking lawyer right now. A practicing lawyer in the state of Massachusetts. Yeah. I agree, Barb. It's disgusting. disgusting, it's disturbing, and it's maddening. Let me get you guys to drop the link in there in the chat, so you guys, if you want to go read the whole article. Where'd it go? Of course. Oh, there it is. If you want to read the article in its entirety, I wasn't able to download the article because it's behind a paywall, but they do have a special right now. You could pay $1 to watch let me just drop that. There's the article. You know, we support Laura Camaldi because she's been the one consistent lawyer on Sandra's case, and we appreciate her so much. You know, she's the one who broke this story with others. Yvonne, I can't remember her last name at the moment. You know, the Boston Globe has been the one consistent throughout the entirety of Sandra's case. You know, especially Laura Camaldi, she's been, you know, she worked tirelessly on this case, and we can't thank her enough. We've talked to Laura many times. Bob talks to her a little bit more than I do, but she's been very good to the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group, and just Sandra in general. So, does anybody have any questions on this topic? I don't want to rush us out of here, but I also don't want to go too over, because I don't want to eat into my time for Brandon's case. Please stick around. I'm going to drop the I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to drop the link for my Brandon stream that you guys can go over to right after this. And please, it's a case near and dear to my heart. And like I said, Sarah played a big part in getting the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group off the ground. And, you know, I had always planned on, I had always planned on covering Sandra's case. I was looking into it, but I hadn't fully dove into it. And Sarah's the one. That's the link to the next, what we're going to stream in a little bit, Brandon's case. If it was, you know, the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group would have never been formed if it wasn't for Sandra. I would have still covered her case because I had a real interest in her case. But Barb and I were talking about it today. Barb's the only person who got back to me. And what I was doing was sitting down with families of loved ones who had been murdered. And if nobody was going to sit down with me, it was going to be hard for me to cover her case. You know, I'd made a couple small TikToks, and I made it like a 12-minute video covering her case. But it would have been hard for me to cover her case for what I was doing at the time. I wasn't doing live streams. At that moment, I was doing like basically canned episodes. So, unfortunately, no sane person who doesn't know the whole story would believe any of this. Yeah, and I think I skipped over the part. I know I did. That my brain is like, his name's popping out of my head. The lawyer for Steve Morello, he's the lawyer for Sandra's aunt. He mentioned in the, you know, gave a statement and said, it's funny, this has never come up, the part about William Farwell basically, you know, covering for entrapping him with Sandra, never came up in the civil trial. And that's been going on, the civil case that has been going on since late 2022. So why hasn't this, you know, why did they just concoct this excuse now? That's it. You know, so are there any questions on this topic? Okay. Well, since there are no questions, and we kind of went through it all, I yelled a little. I feel better now. Um, I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to stand up and do a quick stretch, and then I'm going to go live in like 2 minutes. And please stick around. Follow that link that I dropped in the chat, and come join me over there, because I really want people to see Brandon's case. It's an insane case, and it shows, that the corruption isn't just in Massachusetts, that it is all over the country. And it hit Asheboro, North Carolina, in a very horrid way. And the Asheboro, North Carolina police covered it up, repeatedly covered it up. And I do want to warn you, there are some graphic photos and stuff, but this is all put out with Brandon's mother's permission. She wants this stuff to be seen because she wants the public to know what was done to her son. So we're going to end this stream. Oh, yes, exactly. Because corruption is about power, and people in power don't want to give it up. And it depends on how it figures into whatever entity it is. That's why there's corruption. So, okay, guys, I'm going to end this stream. Go up and follow that link that I dropped in the chat, and I will sign back in under the other stream in like 2 minutes. Okay, guys? Thank you for joining me on this topic. Please come join me on the other stream. And I will put, if you're a replay crew, I will pin it in the comments, so you guys can go look at that stream too. So, okay, I'm going to jump off, and we're going to start the other live right now in 2 minutes. So thank you, guys. I am Izzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Have a good night. Come to the other stream.